Hey, smoking convos. I just want to hop into this. Um, my heart and as well as myself want to bring some light to a situation today. All right. So I'm reading this article out of KFF Health News. I will have everything attached to this podcast today. Um, KFF Health News as well as NBC News ran this story. Okay. And I must begin to read. Charity Watkins, since something was wrong, deeply wrong, when she experienced exhaustion after her daughter was born. At times, Watkins, she was 30 years old, had to stop on the stairway to catch her breath. Her obstetrician said postpartum depression likely caused the weakness and fatigue. When Watkins, who is black, complained of a cough, her doctor blamed the flu. About 8 weeks after delivery, Watkins thought she was having a heart attack, and her husband took her to the emergency room. After a five and a half hour wait in a North Carolina hospital, she returned home to nurse her baby without seeing a doctor. When a physician finally examined Watkins 3 days later, he immediately noticed her legs and stomach were swollen, a sign that her body was retaining fluid. After a chest x ray, the doctor diagnosed her with heart failure. It's a very serious condition in which the heart becomes too weak to adequately pump oxygen rich blood to organs throughout the body. Watkins spent 2 weeks in intensive care. She said a cardiologist later told her, "We almost lost you." Watkins is among 12 million adults being misdiagnosed every year in the United States. In a study published January 8th in J.A. Emerson A. Internal Medicine, researchers found that nearly hospital patients who died or were transferred to intensive care had experienced a diagnostic error. Nearly 18% of misdiagnosed patients were harmed or died. In all, an estimated 795,000 patients a year die or are permanently disabled because of misdiagnosis, according to a study published in July in the BMJ Quality and Safety periodical. Some patients are at higher risk than others. Women and racial and ethnic minorities are 20% to 30% more likely than white men to experience a misdiagnosis, said David Newman Toker, a professor of neurology at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and the lead author of the BMJ study. That's significant and inexcusable, he said. Researchers call misdiagnosis an urgent public health problem. The study found that rates of misdiagnosis range from 1.5% of heart attacks to 17.5% of strokes and 22.5% of lung cancers. Weakening of the heart muscle, which led to Watkins' heart failure, is the most common of maternal death 1 week to 1 year after delivery and is more common among Black women. Heart failure should have been number one on the list of possible causes for Watkins symptoms, said Ronald Wyatt, Chief Science and Chief Medical Officer at the Society to Improve Diagnosis in Medicine, a nonprofit research and advocacy group. Maternal mortality for Black mothers has increased dramatically in recent years. The United States has the highest maternal mortality rate among developed countries. According to the Centers for Disease Control, which is the CDC, and Prevention, non Hispanic Black mothers are 2.6 times as likely to die as non Hispanic white moms. More than half of these deaths take place within a year after delivery. Research shows that Black women with childbirth related heart failure are typically diagnosed later than white women, said Jennifer Louie, co director of the Pregnancy and Heart Disease Program at Penn Medicine. That can allow patients to further deteriorate, making Black women less likely to fully recover and more likely to suffer from weakened hearts for the rest of their lives. Wow. Watkins said the diagnosis changed her life. Doctors advised her not to have another baby, or I might need a heart transplant, she said. Being deprived of the chance to have another child, she said, was devastating. I can only imagine. I don't even want to imagine. This is heartbreaking. Racial and gender disparities are widespread. Women and minority patients suffering from heart attacks are more likely than others to be discharged without diagnosis or treatment. Black people with depression are more likely than others to be misdiagnosed with schizophrenia. Oh, yeah. That I would like to touch on, but they'll be at another episode. Minorities are less likely than whites to be diagnosed early with dementia. Another thing I would like to talk about. Depriving them of the opportunities to receive treatments that work best in the early stages of the disease. Misdiagnosis isn't new. No, it's not. Doctors have used autopsy studies to estimate the percentage of patients who died with undiagnosed disease for more than a century. Although those studies show some improvement over time, life threatening mistakes remain all too common despite an array of sophisticated diagnostic tools, said Hardeep Singh, a professor at Baylor College of Medicine who studies ways to improve diagnosis. The vast majority of diagnosis can be made by getting to know the patient's story really well, asking follow up questions, examining the patient, and ordering basic tests, said Singh, who is also a researcher at Houston's Michael E. DeBakey, Virginia Medical Center. When talking to people who've been misdiagnosed, one of the things we hear over and over is the doctor did not listen to me. Racial disparities in misdiagnosis are sometimes explained by noting that minority patients are less likely to be insured than white patients and often lack access to high quality hospitals. But the picture is more complicated, said Monica Goyal, an emergency physician at Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C., who has documented racial bias in children's health care. In a 2020 study, Goyal and her colleagues found that Black kids with appendicitis were less likely than their white peers to be correctly diagnosed, even when both groups of patients visited the same hospital. Interesting. Although few doctors deliberately discriminate against women or minorities, Goyal said, many are biased without realizing it. Racial bias is baked into our culture, Goyal said. It's important for all of us to start recognizing that. Demanding schedules which prevent doctors from spending as much time with patients as they'd like can contribute to diagnostic errors, said Karen Lutfi Spencer, a professor of health and behavioral sciences at the University of Colorado, Denver. Doctors are more likely to make biased decisions when they are busy and overworked, Spencer said. There are some really smart, well intentioned providers who are getting chewed up in a system that's very unforgiving. Doctors make better treatment decisions when they're more confident of a diagnosis, Spencer said. In an experiment, researchers asked doctors to view videos of actors pretending to be patients with heart disease or depression, make a diagnosis, and recommend follow up actions. Doctors felt far more certain diagnosing white men than Black patients or younger women. If they were less certain, they were less likely to take action, such as ordering tests, Spencer said. If they were less certain, they might just wait to prescribe treatment. It's easy to see why doctors are more confident when diagnosing white men, Spencer said. For more than a century, medical textbooks have illustrated diseases with stereotypical images of white men. Only 4.5% of images in general medical textbooks feature patients with dark skin. That may help explain why patients with darker complexions are less likely to receive a timely diagnosis with conditions that affect the skin, from cancer to Lyme disease, which causes a red or pink rash in the earliest stage of infection. Black patients with Lyme disease are more likely to be diagnosed with more advanced disease, which can cause arthritis and damage the heart. Black people with melanoma are about 3 times as likely as whites to die within 5 years. The COVID 19 pandemic helped raise awareness that pulse oximeters, the fingertip devices used to measure a patient's pulse and oxygen levels, are less accurate for people with dark skin. The devices work by shining light through the skin. Their failure have delayed critical care for many Black patients. 7 years after her misdiagnosis, Watkins is an assistant professor of social work at North Carolina Central University in Durham, where she studies the psychosocial effects experienced by Black mothers who survive severe childbirth complications. Sharing my story is part of my healing, said Watkins, who speaks to medical groups to help doctors improve their care. It has helped me reclaim power in my life just to be able to help others. By the way, just in case somebody is new to my podcast, all my newcomers, and I would like to thank those who subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you. This is Kim B of Smoking Convos. Our mission is to offer easy to understand mental and physical health content on our podcast. We are here to support listeners with relatable experiences, practical tips, and empowering discussions. Together, we build a community where everyone feels motivated to prioritize their health and happiness. Today, I have posted an article about a fallen angel. She is on my community tab. She is a YouTuber who unfortunately passed away from the very thing being discussed, which is being misdiagnosed. Doctors thought she had issues with fibroids. They discovered she had stage 3 cervical cancer. So, right now, I'm going to read what she had posted on her Instagram page in regards to what she went through. I hope this episode will help those who may be experiencing situations such as this, maybe yourself, maybe your family members. I'm going to do my due diligence to I'm gonna definitely put all this information that I read. I'm gonna post it to this podcast. I'm gonna put a couple of 800 numbers if you need to speak to a therapist, such as BetterHelp and Talkspace, to name a few. We're here together on this. You know, I myself, I am. Um, I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I've been in remission now since 2012. I should say, yeah, 2012. I was diagnosed 2010. Prior to that, my dad had passed away in 2004, 2003, and of bone cancer. Um, it's important. I want to say before I read what she had spoken about her experience. Um, this is dedicated to those who lost their life to cancer as well as other diseases as well. And hopefully, we as a nation can um, correct the misdiagnosis, you know, as far as with Black and Brown people and other minorities. Okay. Um, so, my father had passed away of bone cancer. I was diagnosed in 2010 with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymph nodes. Um, it's been hard. You know, I had family members in my family also who have cancer. It's important, very, 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 very important, um, to get early detection. Go to your doctor's appointments. Get every single test done. Okay, early detection is key to a long-lasting life. Um, I know Biden is working on or is still working on with different medical treatments for cancer. Um, and, you know, other researchers as well. You know, we came far because I know with Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's a young person's cancer. So I had it since I was young, didn't know it. At first, it's a long story with mine. So they thought it was leukemia, it wasn't. Thank God. Um, I'm still here. You know, medicines have improved. I know that way back when um, people used to die from, you know, cancers like myself. Now mine's is uh, at a level where they detect it and you could go into remission. Sometimes it just go away, you know. So I've been in remission now for like since 2012. I think 2012, because that's when I think I had stopped my treatments. Um, it was tough. Trust and believe. I've been in remission now. I've thought about that. 12, 13 years now. And it was tough, but it's good to have a good support system. My mom is my rock, and I don't know how she did it, you know. Um, but she's still here and she's still standing, and I love her dearly. My aunt is my rock. I got a hell of a family who have my back, and I got hell of a friends that have my back as well. So I'm fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I'm fortunate. I'm humbled. I'm blessed. Um, that's why I really created. This is one of the reasons why I created this platform, not only to have fun and stuff, but to also be informative. Because it does have, you know, have an effect on your mental health. So I just want to be here for those that might be going through certain things in life, and that's why I came to saying I wanted this podcast, Smoking Convos, so that way we can have you have a safe place to have uncomfortable conversations. This is uncomfortable. It is. It's an uncomfortable conversation to have because it can tend to be very emotional. It could be triggering. If it's triggering, I'm sorry. I just bring an awareness. If it triggers you, don't worry. You don't have to listen. I just hope that what you got out of it, whatever you listen to, know that you, I myself, and I don't know you guys. I know some, but I don't know everybody. That I am here. I just want to be supportive. You know, because society is not an easy. Outside society today, I should say, it's not an easy place to live. Okay, we going through so much, and we have things like this going on. You know, so and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be a conversation about it. And my platform is very safe to have that conversation. Okay, so this is in dedication to the YouTuber Jessica Pettway, because that's her name, and also to like my dad and those who may have lost their lives to cancer and other diseases, or going through other mental issues. This is dedication for them um, and their loved ones. Uh, this this is what this episode is about, right? So here I am. I'm gonna read what she has said, and then I'm gonna post as many 800 numbers as possible if you need someone to talk to. I'm gonna leave my business web address. If you want to talk to me, you are more than welcome to. Okay? It's an open door, you know? Because we all need somebody to talk to. Okay. So, and I'm going to see if I can bring professionals on this platform. So that way, if you have any questions, you can feel free and talk to them as well. Okay. This is for you, Jessica, and everybody else. Okay? So on her Instagram page, before I read it, she was discussing generally what she was going through, and how she became, how she discovered being misdiagnosed. Okay, all right. So this is her Instagram. This is Jessica. I took these photos a few days ago, and it's currently my favorite photo of myself. And I have to say, the picture is absolutely gorgeous. It brings me so much joy to see how far I've come, because a few months ago, I received devastating news. I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. I don't even know where to begin, but I want to share why I've been gone for so long, in hopes that at least one person is encouraged by my story. So here it goes. Last June, I was having intense bleeding. And when I say intense, I mean I was literally bleeding out. I called around and asked other women if they experienced this before, and a majority of them said they have. I thought, well, maybe this is a normal thing that women go through. I was experiencing extreme fatigue, weakness, and just not feeling like myself. But again, I accepted this as a normal symptom that most women go through. Well, on July 1st, 2022, at 4 a.m., my husband found me in the bathroom. I had literally passed away. He called on Jesus to bring me back, and I came back. I was rushed to the hospital where they told me that the extreme, she had lost extreme a lot of blood, and it was due to fibroids. So her gynecologist made it seem like it was so normal and common. I didn't think, she proceeded to say, I didn't think much of it. However, she was going through passing things out, and I don't know, because I don't want to be too descriptive. She was experiencing other symptoms. I'm gonna say that, which was really alarming. They kept her up overnight, and that's the hospital kept her, and they released her the next day. So she's fast forwarding to July 22nd, and she was hospitalized again for the same thing. So the medical professionals treated it like it was not alarming since it was just the fibroid. But she was experiencing the same symptoms that were dangerous, okay? I have to say that. Because prior to me working in the education system, I used to work in the medical field as well, okay? Um, she said it felt like labor pains. Um, she said that her life became so limited because she couldn't do anything because of all the things that she was experiencing. If you want to read what she said on the Instagram, because I'm realizing that I might not can say this on YouTube. Um, I'm just, filling in the blanks. I'm going to attach the article from People magazine. Shout out to People. Okay. And it would not stop, she said. Um, she'd been hospitalized again on January 7th, and she was there for a week. Okay. She could not get surgery to remove the fibroid due to her lack, of blood supply. Okay, so her hemoglobin was very low, and she had to go through blood transfusions. Okay, so Pettway was given the same diagnosis through her hospitalization between July 2022 and January 2023 until visiting an oncologist in February 2023. Okay, on February 8th. He performed an outpatient biopsy, and when she woke up from being under anesthesia, he told her, yeah, you have stage 3 cervical cancer. It turns out that it wasn't fibroids. She said she remember hearing that and immediately saying to herself she refused to make an agreement with that diagnosis, right? And so she didn't, you know. She said being told that she had cancer didn't devastate her. It was the reaction of those close to her, she continued. So the social media personality was a mom. She got a beautiful 10-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old daughter. She has her husband that she's been married to for 12 years. They made an absolutely beautiful family. Um, she described feeling. She described the feeling of watching her loved ones witness her medical journey in an Instagram post that August. She said, anytime you're dealing with an illness, it's not it does not only affect you, but it affects everything around you, your people, your family. And I could identify with that because it affected my family, my son, you know, my pride and joy. Um, it hurts. It really hurts. So I'm gonna continue, try to be strong for her, carrying that torch. Um, she says that this year, that particular year rocked her world. Okay. Countless hospital stays. She had financial strain. Yes. You will have financial problems when you're sick because the bills don't stop coming, child. Look at what we went through with COVID. Like the bills were still coming, you know? So, yeah, I could agree with that. And I guess y'all too. You know, I know you must yourself might experience things like this, you know, medical situations or your family members, you know. So I guess we all I know, I'm not gonna say I guess, I know for a fact we could all identify with this. She said the girls, in regards to her beautiful daughters, are too young to understand. I could agree with that because my son was young at the time as well. She expressed that watching her husband break down was rough. Yeah, yep. And but that they made a commitment that they would get through it together. I salute her husband, you know, um, for being a team with his wife. Okay, job well done. Um, we move forward, and this is what she was continuing saying. We move forward and did our best not to allow current circumstances to overtake them. And it was definitely not easy, but we made it this far. Added Miss Pettway. If you want to read again, if you want to read her story, um, it's in People. It's on other platforms or other magazines, periodicals as well. But I have received my information from People. So shout out to you, People. Um, yeah. So I felt it was heavy on my heart to share this story and bring awareness to everyone. Um, if you're going through something medically, please do not wait. Please go to your doctors. If you're not comfortable with at whatever the diagnosis is, yes, get a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth opinion until keep going. There's no numbers on opinions. Um, there's no number on opinions. Never let nobody discourage you from that. Okay. Um, and until you're comfortable and say, okay, I'm going to deal with whatever the outcome is, you know. Again, they have a lot of medicines out here with early detection, which is a plus. They have a lot of medications out here that can fight cancer, and in my words, F cancer, you know, and other diseases, you know. Medicine had came really far, you know, and it's important, you know, it's important as people in office that would not put a stop to that. I want to say that I had to slide that in. Um, that is for the people. You understand? Because without the people, there will be no world. Okay? There will be no jobs. There will be no economy if it wasn't for the people. And the people got to take care of their health mentally and physically. If you can't take care of your health mentally and physically, there will be no finances. There will be no economy. There will be no home. See, it has an effect. It's a domino effect. So it's very important. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not important to take care of your mental and your physical well being. Okay? Because without you being able to function, hello, what businesses you going to have? Because you need businesses, you need people to help your businesses. Yeah, CEOs and others that have businesses. Don't forget, the people is the one that's helping you keep your business afloat. It's not you by yourself, or else you could have ran it by yourself. You need people to help your business. And since you need people to help with your businesses, right? Then you need to make sure the people's mental and physical well being is being taken care of. Okay? And that's how that flows. And there are people that's close minded to it. I feel so sorry for you. That's so sad. You understand? But that's the real part of it. People don't have their mental or physical intact, you don't have no business. That's how that goes. So I ain't gonna get too intense with it because sometimes it infuriates me when I hear certain people, I read certain articles in different periodicals, and when I see things on the news, make it make sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm living in a damn twilight zone sometimes. Um, we need to get it together. As humans, we need to get it together. It's not the animals that's making the earth fall apart. It's the humans. Did I say that? Sorry, I did. Um, we have to get it together. We do. From climate change to our behavior, our human behavior, everything got to get together, or else it's gonna be none of us. I hate to say it, but that's the reality of it. And sometimes it's hard to face things at face value. But that's what my platform is for, to continue the conversation. Okay? The uncomfortable conversations. See, we got to work on uncomfortable conversations so that way we can get it to a point where it's comfortable and we can solve the problem like adults. Yeah, that's how that goes. So that way we can teach the children, right? That part, because they look at us, right? That part. And if we're not a good influence on them, then this earth is shot to hell. Okay? So, with that being said, um, rest in peace, Miss Jessica Pettway. Um, your story will continue on. Um, I think other people, like Miss Wyatt, from the article that I read previously, um, underneath KFF Health News, Charity Watkins. Miss Charity Watkins, you got a story to tell, and your story will also live on. It definitely opened my eyes. It's a refresher for me to be on my toes as well. And keep on talking about things like this so that way we can help others open their eyes as well, and bring it to the attention of doctors. Like, this is what you went to school for. Um, I agree with what the professor said in the article. It is inexcusable to have misdiagnosis, for minority groups. You understand? We all people. When we take the skin off, we all bleed the same. Our color blood is the same. We all have the same thing, same skeletal system, same respiratory system. Ain't nothing different. Okay? I can't believe I'm talking about that in 2024, but that's the reality of it. And it's sad, but we can do better. I'm optimistic that we can do better. Right? So I'm going to sign off, and y'all have a good evening. I am working on things for more to come on Smoking Convos. And that will be all. Y'all stay safe, and continue to try to be in a positive space. Okay, never let nobody take you down the negative path. Try to be remaining in a positive space. Okay, positivity brings peace on earth. Okay, love and peace.